I welcome you guys. This is Spirit Soul Fire. I am GS9 Green Sage 9, and it's all love and light. Let's get started. The video that I got for you guys today, you see it here, the title right at the bottom right here. Please do, and the YouTube channel is called Super Soldier Talk. Very great channel, very interesting information. I implore you guys to go definitely subscribe to this individual. I am subscribed on my other page. This is a new, since I am starting this page, I haven't quite subscribed with this new page, but please go ahead and subscribe to his page and check out his work. Very pertinent information that will really blow your mind and will really blow your mind and really expand your consciousness, and you'll realize there's a lot of things that we don't know that have been going on, that are still going on, that the general population doesn't know. So please go ahead and subscribe to him. The video that I got that I want to actually go over is called Spacegate Ultra Top Secret UFO Program. Now, like I said, please do keep an open mind, and we're going to go through this.
We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard.
When President Kennedy made the speech in 1961, little did he know we were already there. At that time, there was already a lunar base on the moon, consisting of a joint alien, American, and Soviet Union base of 36,000 people, all of which were Aryan by birth. This massive facility, located under the Jules Verne crater, was operated by a group within the NSA known as Blue Moon.
1 second before I continue, I just want to double check that everything is in working order. Let's move this a little bit. Let's continue.
Then on May 22nd, 1962, a secret space probe landed on Mars, which confirmed life could be supported. Soon after, a colony of over 500,000 occupants was constructed below the Martian surface. But how this all began takes us back to 1917, when members of the German Thule Secret Society channeled messages from extraterrestrials in the Aldebaran system. They received instructions and...
Now, I just want to interject. You heard him say that all this kind of started in 1917. For those who are not quite familiar with the history and timeline, that's roughly around World War I, when the Duke of Ferdinand was killed and sparked the World War I. So just keep in mind, because a lot of the wars that we've had on Earth have a connection to this phenomenon, the UFO phenomenon as well.
Now to build a device which would harness the power of the Vril, or the Black Sun. These secret teachings spawned the Black Sun Secret Society, the Vril Secret Society, the SS, and ultimately the Third Reich. These occultists understood how to harness the energy of the Black Sun. According to Sumerian occultism, the sun...
And now, you see how they are also referring to a Sumerian, he's also referring to the Sumerian text. When they start to talk about Sumerian, and back that particular time frame, you're talking about the Anunnaki. Now, for those who do not know who the Anunnaki are, the term itself, I believe, means from those who came from the stars. Essentially, the history, a brief synopsis of the Anunnaki. It is believed that such people like Zariah Stitchin, that they basically are higher level entities, beings that came to Earth and manipulated the humans that were on Earth, and essentially created a new human to be a slave race, to mine gold for them, to mine gold for them. Now, this is very important because the Anunnaki, this theme of the Anunnaki gods, are all over cultural things from there, and they are essentially, you can say, what a lot of the basis of the Greek gods and other God stories around the earth. These are the creatures or beings that they are based upon.
The sun illuminates the exterior, but the Black Sun is an invisible beam of light which illuminates the soul of man, which is the divine light. They all understood the coming of the golden age of humanity was at hand, and the changeover from the age of Pisces to the age of Aquarius. When Adolf Hitler learned of these secret teachings, he realized the world would have to change to make way for the new age. His version of a Third Reich drawed on leaders from these secret societies, with their emblem being the black sun.
Now, we are currently in the age of Aquarius, so all the things that you're saying now are basically giving the back history of why things are happening where they're happening right now. They all link. We are currently in the age of Aquarius. The age of Aquarius, literally, we turn into the age of Aquarius I believe right at around 2020. As you can see, the year 2020, if you're familiar with the eye doctor or ophthalmology, 2020 means perfect vision, enlightenment, and the way that relates to that is to say that in the year of the enlightenment, we as human consciousness will obtain perfect vision to see what's really going on and see what's been really hidden in the dark.
Together, these occultists became obsessed with building a prototype flying saucer powered by the energy of the black sun. By the end of the Second World War, Germany was in possession of a secret weapon which resembled a UFO. Known as the Vril and Hanabu 2, these crafts could travel at Mach 12. When rumors of these technologies began leaking out of Germany, the Allied forces became worried. According to Vladimir Turisky, the Bulgarian-born engineer and physicist, these crafts would launch from a secret base in Antarctica and then would travel to a small lunar outpost on the moon. But even more incredible, he revealed that the Nazis...
Now, it is well known that around World War II, which is around 1940 to 1945, that Adolf Hitler and the Nazis were... This is a known fact and actually documented fact that they were researching how to build flying saucers or new aviation technology. That is a fact. There are documentations out there that a lot of the crafts that they were starting to build back then resembled what you would quintessentially call a UFO, like you've seen on this video. Now, they also mentioned Antarctica, which is very interesting. Now, there's been, there were also documentation that Adolf Hitler did visit Antarctica, and this is essentially where he obtained some of the knowledge to build these crafts. Now, riddle me this: why is it that currently, if you didn't know, no one's allowed to go to Antarctica except for government officials and very powerful people? The normal population is not allowed to go. Why do you think? Maybe this has something to do with that too.
These landed on Mars in mid-January 1946 after an 8 months of a heavy flight with a basically volunteer suicide crew of Germans and Japanese and a giant 230-foot diameter dreadnought, again running on free energy, basically the Hans-Kohler converters of gravity energy into the electromagnetic energy of the flight. After the war, Alan Dulles, Wild Bill Donovan, and George H. Bush was busy locating these Nazi scientists to implant within the U.S. military-industrial complex. This was known as Project Paperclip in Odessa.
Now, I want to make a mention of this whole project Paperclip, which is a very true thing, documented history, where after World War II, after the supposed defeat of Adolf Hitler, America took Nazis in. So did South America, and I believe somewhere else in Europe. And a lot of Nazi scientists actually matriculated into the American government and headed their space programs, essentially because the Nazis had information on building advanced alien spacecraft, essentially, which is crazy. This is totally verified in the documents. Some people think that even possibly Adolf Hitler never really died. That's a possibility. Who knows? Anything is possible in this world, but it is a fact that the Nazis, after supposedly the end of World War II, various governments in America, United States of America, and I think Argentina or South America, they took in Nazi scientists into their space program.
Firmly implanted, they continued their secret experiments under the watchful eye of the American military. In 1947, with the crash of Roswell, New Mexico, President Truman created a secret study group to investigate the alien presence. This eventually became known as Majority 12, not Majestic 12, as the Hope documents analyzed by Stanton Friedman suggest. In 1954, President Dwight Eisenhower consulted with his friend Nelson Rockefeller about how to deal with the alien issue. Rockefeller suggested he set up a think tank to investigate the issue.
Now, I want to make note of this. You see how they talked about Rockefeller. Now, as we all know, the Rockefeller family, the Rothschild family, and certain oligarchs around the world are the ones who have power that people don't even understand what type of power they have. These are the oligarchs. These are the wizards behind the curtain. Now, fun fact, I believe it's the Rockefeller or the Rothschild. They're one of the only families in the whole world that actually has a property or a base in Antarctica. Mind you that. So it's not by coincidence that he's involved in this. And that particular family is involved with what they're saying right now as far as that. And another thing, 1946, right after, they're mentioned around 1946, 1945. That's right after World War II. Fun fact, in the beginning of World War II, there was a small battle called the Battle of Los Angeles. Look this up. This is something that a lot of people don't know. Look it up. Google it. It's called the Battle of Los Angeles, I believe. Or it may be the Battle of California, but I believe it's called the Battle of Los Angeles, wherein basically an unidentifiable aircraft came out of the sea and hovered over California, over the coast of California for like 3-4 hours, just sitting there, where the whole city back in 1945 came out and saw alien spacecraft is hovering over Los Angeles. And to the fact that the military in Los Angeles actually fired upon the craft, and basically they unloaded, heavy military fire at this craft, that basically it did nothing to the craft. The bullets basically bounced off, and it actually ended up killing some people. Some civilians got wounded because of the military shooting upon the craft and the bullets bouncing off. It was a big thing. This is a story that a lot of people don't know. It's called the Battle of Los Angeles. Look it up, where an actual UFO craft hovered over Los Angeles, the city, for a couple of hours, and the military actually fired upon it and ended up killing some of his own civilians in that attempt to take down the craft.
Passing Congress, President Dwight Eisenhower issued the secret Executive Memorandum NSC 5401/1, which contents remain classified under the National Security Act. These think tanks brought together their most brilliant minds. It was literally a who's who of scientists and elites representing members of the Executive Council of the Bilderberg Group and the Council of Foreign Relations. This decision was the worst mistake of Eisenhower's presidency, and on his farewell address he issued this final warning to the American public.
In the councils of government, we must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex. The potential for the disastrous rise of misplaced power exists and will persist.
MJ-12 determined that humanity was not ready to accept the alien presence. They also realized that humanity would not be able to survive past the year 2000 at its current rate of destruction. They determined that provisions would have to be made to ensure humanity's survival if a catastrophic collapse of the world civilization would occur. This was known as Alternatives 1, 2, and 3. Alternative 1 would relieve global warming by detonating nuclear bombs in the stratosphere. Alternative 2 would build vast underground networks of cities and tunnels. Alternative 3 would colonize other worlds. MJ-12 ultimately decided to build underground shelters and pursue the colonization of other worlds. In 1954, under Project Sigma, the National Security Agency made first contact with the gray alien extraterrestrials. Soon after, the Greada Treaty was signed, which would allow the United States government to trade technology with the ETs and to backward engineer an underground bases. In exchange, the ETs would be allowed to abduct people in a limited manner.
Now, riddle me this. Have you ever wondered how we, in the span of 50 years, let's say from 1980s. I was born around 1983, right? And let's say from around the late 80s to up until now. You ever wonder how we developed the internet, how we developed smartphones, how we developed certain technologies so fast in comparison to all the other years? You know, another fun fact, if you try to find out who invented the lasers, there's not one person who invented the lasers. And laser is actually a acronym for light amplified. It's a like I said, it's a acronym, essentially an acronym. I forget the actual, words of the acronym, but needless to say, if you look up who invented the laser, there's not an actual person who invented the laser, and it's a little bit of mystery around who invented the laser, and other certain technologies that deal with the internet and computers. Like I said, it's not by coincidence that our technology just started very aggressively advancing. It's my belief, in which has been that I've seen evidence that we essentially were given technology. The government were given technology, and obviously they figured some of the technology out and broke it down into a little bit more simplistic forms, and applied it to a lot of the technologies we have right now with the smartphones, and the internet, etc., computers, what's it called, cable, the wiring that we use for the internet, the cable, what's it called, the microfibers, etc. That's very interesting, but it's not by coincidence that out of nowhere our technology just started jumping leaps and bounds in a short period of time. You have to really use your discernment and use and not believe everything you're told, and using it in an expanding view of consciousness to understand that, hey, we did have help along the way.
MJ-12 knew funding of such a large and expensive facilities would require enormous funding. To prevent any congressional oversight, MJ-12 determined a secret source of funding would be required. At first, money was channeled from the national budget. When this wasn't sufficient enough funding, MJ-12 recruited the young George H. Bush from Zapata.
Look who we have here, W.H. Bush. Now, like I said, it's not by coincidences that these particular certain people, they mentioned Rockefeller, they mentioned Dwight Eisenhower, and by the way, Eisenhower actually supposedly met with an entity called Valiant Thor. Look that up. An actual extraterrestrial supposedly visited Eisenhower and actually stayed and helped the government do a couple of things. But going back to to Bush, it's not by coincidence that he's involved as well. One of the most notorious presidents that we've had, because Bush was part of the CIA prior to even becoming president. So he knew a lot of different secrets prior to even becoming president. And some of the agendas that they even push says a lot to where they wanted humanity to go, knowing these different informations about the nature of our reality, and knowing that we are not alone.
Zapata Oil Company to smuggle in cocaine and heroin for the CIA. Today, the CIA brings in over $2.5 trillion annually for the black budget. In 1963, when Kennedy first learned of the alien president's drug trafficking problem, he gave an ultimatum to MJ-12. If they did not cease and tell the American public the truth, heads would soon roll. Kennedy planned to inform the American people within the following year and ordered them to implement his decision by then. Because Kennedy was not a member of CFR, nor did he have knowledge of alternatives 1, 2, or 3, his decision struck fear in those in charge. So the policy committee of MJ-12 made a decision to have Kennedy assassinated. Kennedy was murdered by the Secret Service and MJ-12 agent who drove his limo. All those who witnessed William Greer shoot Kennedy were murdered within 2 years of the event.
That is facts. Those people who, just like he said, that witnessed this assassination were killed within 2 years of the assassination. Now, even Joe Rogan has had, I forgot the movie director, it'll come to me, but had this big time movie director, Oliver Stone, I believe, who, has brought up this whole conspiracy. Let me tell you this: a lot of the conspiracies, what the general people call conspiracies, are actually becoming true. They said that that the cerveza sickness was a conspiracy. A lot of things around the cerveza sickness was a conspiracy, but lo and behold, a lot of things are coming to light to be true. In fact. But yes, I do believe that Kennedy was assassinated in that regard, and in coming into that information. But I also believe and know that it was also in connection to the monetary system, and him understanding and finding out how much the Federal Reserve controls the world, essentially, how the central bankers control the world, and how they took the monetary system off of the gold standard and created a fiat currency. Now, those who don't know what a fiat currency is, basically the dollar is worth nothing. The dollar is not based on anything. Way back when, the dollar used to be based on gold. You could take money and go to the bank in exchange for gold. But back in the day, Nixon decided to take the Federal Reserve was created, which there were some shady stuff that went along with that, and essentially the Federal Reserve, which is not even federal, is not even the Federal Reserve, which a lot of people don't know is not even federal, is not a government organization. Is actually a privately owned organization that prints money, and people who are in control of this organization are those billionaire, rich oligarch families that control things in the background. All this is starting to come to the light. But like I said, another reason that I feel as if Kennedy was assassinated was the fact, in conjunction to him finding out that information, was the fact that he was also going to take basically disassociate himself from the Federal Reserve and go back on the gold standard, which would have done a lot of damage to this fake federal organization that controls the monetary system.
Only Jackie Kennedy was spared through fear and intimidation. The truth is, the Warren Commission was a farce, and most members were also CFR members.
Ladies and gentlemen, the very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society, and we are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret societies, to secret oaths, and to secret proceedings. For we are opposed around the world by a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy that relies primarily on covert means for expanding its sphere of influence, on infiltration instead of invasion, on subversion instead of elections, on intimidation instead of free choice. It is a system which has conscripted vast human and material resources into the building of a tightly knit, highly efficient machine that combines military, diplomatic, intelligence, economic, scientific, and political operations. Its preparations are concealed, not published. Its mistakes are buried, not headlined. Its dissenters are silenced, not praised. No expenditure is questioned, no secret is revealed. That is why the Athenian lawmaker Solon decreed it a crime for any citizen to shrink from controversy. I am asking your help in the tremendous task of informing and alerting the American people, confident that with your help, man will be what he was born to be, free and independent.
Since that time, MJ-12 and the secret government have become increasingly more and more powerful. America was given a space program, but NASA was for public relations only. The real space program was still being operated covertly by the military. Then in 1972, the secret space program was reorganized under the CIA and is known as CSS, or the U.S. Central Security Service. They now operate the facilities of Area 51, S4, Area 52, Pine Gap, and Area 53 in the Wimmera Desert, Australia. Their arsenal of craft included the TR-3B Astra, the TR-3B Chameleon, the Aurora SR.
Now, the governments of the world have salvaged technologies that are not Earth-made and have back engineered technology. Now, my thing is the notion to really, I think we've come far enough in this reality to see what we can, how, science has come to the realization that we are living in a simulation, actual computer simulation, and a matrix, a light matrix, and a lot of other things that we have, that science itself has discovered to put us in a mind frame that the reality of what we see and what we know is very limited. We don't know anything. There's so much things that we don't know. And a wise saying is, you have reached enlightenment when you know that you know not. Meaning that never assume that you know everything. That's what true enlightenment is. To think that we are the only creatures or entities on Earth itself, or in this whole galaxy, when they say that the universe is ever expanding, is just nonsensical to believe that we are the only sentient creatures on Earth or in this galaxy. I think at this point is just crazy. Why do you think the former president created a space force? What's out? Obviously something's out there, Obviously something's out there, and they know that. Like I said, and why you think more recently the government has been coming out admitting that there are spacecrafts, there are unidentifiable objects flying out there, because right now where the consciousness of humanity is going, it's going to be hard for them to hide that secret forever. You got to realize that we as humans right now, we don't really live a long time. 80, 90 years is a very, small time frame to live. As I record this video, the oldest living person, that human at least, that has been recorded is 120 years. 120 years. That is not that long, especially for maybe other entities or other animals that live 500 years, 600 years. The fact that humans live so short, it's easy to hide things from us, because there's no one who really lives a long time. But back to my point, to really think that we're the only thing or sentient creature alive in the universe is ludicrous.
SR-33A, the Lockheed Martin's X-33A, the TAW-50, and Note 128 craft, which means not of this earth, and the newer Northrop quantum teleportation disk. The older crafts could travel in speeds of Mach 50 and above. Using quantum entanglement, the newer quantum teleportation disk is known to teleport instantly anywhere in the world and has cloaking capabilities. These disks are used for covert military abductions and chipping of individuals who know too much. In UFO lore, this is known as a ME lab, or military abduction. The good news is, today there is a covert war going on between the CSS crafts and the Russian Federation cosmospheres. In addition to that, the Galactic Federation of Light is also working to contain or neutralize the problem. Soon the Khazarian Zionist Bolshevik plot to create a new world order will be no more.
Okay. Great video, like I said. This is from the YouTube. This is from the YouTube.
We choose to go to
the YouTube page, Super Soldier Talk. This is his page. It has some very interesting stuff. I implore you guys to go ahead and subscribe, or just to keep an open mind and kind of check some out. Check some of the things, some of the videos out that he has. That particular video that we went over, he made that 14 years ago. 14 years ago. That puts us back all the way back in, I would say, around almost 2015. Excuse me, 2005, 2006 maybe. Yeah, around there. That's just to show you that to these individuals making these videos, it's a real thing. It's a very much a real thing. But like I said, check out this YouTube page. Go ahead and subscribe. Check a lot of interesting stuff. I thought that video was really well put together, in my personal opinion. I liked it. A lot of hidden gems. A lot of people who may not have had. I've had my awakening. I know who I am, what I am. I understand the nature of reality. And until you really understand that, maybe some of these things might go over your head. But like I said, this is the time of awakening. People are going to come to a rude awakening when they come to realize what's been hiding behind the curtain and what's been really going on. I did really enjoy that video. I thought it was really well put together. He had a lot of hidden gems. I implore you to go back and check out the video without my commentary, just to kind of get a little bit of a better hearing of it, maybe to absorb some things that you didn't hear or understand. But there was a lot of deep things down that he said. This whole alien phenomenon, at least in the last 100 years, have the epicenter, I would say, of the timeline, where things really start to really crack off and pop off, I would say would be around World War II, around the Roswell crash. Even in movies such as Men in Black, the second one, when they went into the history of the Agent K. It has a lot of truth to that. Even though it's a movie, you may think that they're just making a movie, but it essentially says back in the 1940s that alien craft had landed, and the government essentially had contact with alien life, and from that they were able to gain alien technology, and a lot of things have happened since then. But just wanted to share that video with you guys. GS9, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Spirit Soul Fire, like I said, we are just like everybody else, trying to understand the nature of reality and search for the truth, and also help disseminate information out there. Everyone has, everyone should use all your intuition and also your common sense to understand and try to have an open eye to know what's real and what's not. I do have an ability for discernment, so I know when I have a pretty good BS meter. And like I said, there's been other things in my personal life and other synchronicities in my life in general that have led me to all these truths. All the truths that he said in this video, I had learned prior to even watching this video, through various different things, through the various other people I've come across, their books I've read, information I've looked into. So I know a lot of this to be very accurate or has some validity to it. So I implore you guys to take another look at the video. Definitely go over there and subscribe. Also subscribe to this channel. I'm going to be bringing a series of other videos, a lot of interesting videos that this basically show that the reality that we think is our reality is not a reality. And a lot of, we are in an amazing time right now with as much turmoil and craziness going on. We are also in a great time of learning and expanding consciousness and awakening the general public to what's been really going on and shifting into a better high vibe reality. So thanks for watching. Like I said, please do like, share, and subscribe. Stay tuned for the next video. And yeah, without further ado, peace.